Hey everyone, welcome to the altcoin video today. I'm here to give an opinion on on the market, and before I get in, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. I'm giving my opinion on the market, and I'm also here to maybe, I don't know, disperse a little bit of the tension that's going on in the general chat on Discord right now. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and move into the charts. How about that? Let's do that. All right, so this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go through all of the different altcoins by volume. Going to move in descending order, which means we're going to start with Wink. We're going to go to BitTorrent, down through Holochain, Tron, Doge, VeChain, Ripple, Cardano, Zilliqua, Lumens, One, Matic, Seller, and I do want to get all the way down to Link. Link and XTZ are down there. XTZ is doing quite well. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and move it here and take a look at things. What I want to do is I also want to focus on how I take entries and why I take entries, okay? Right now, obviously, we're in a bit of a bull trend, okay? That doesn't mean that things only move up. Things move up and down, and there's money to be made in, well, both directions, all right? All right. So, I mean, it is what it is. And what I look for, and you guys all know this, right? We've gone through this tons of times before. Let me zoom in here on the hourly chart. I look for confluence where I see the 1 hour and the 3 hour, and preferably the 12 hour, all down at the same time. The last time that happened on Wink was back here, with the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the 12 hour all over here in oversold conditions all at the same time. And if you were to buy here and just be a little patient, I mean, look what you got. You got a huge move to the upside. I mean, let's just take a look here. Buying this from down here, taking that trade all the way up, that's 20%. Okay, that's a good trade. That's a good trade. Now, right now, Wink is not a buy for me. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just quickly go through these things because there are a lot of assets. I'm looking at the USDT trading pair. There's a lot of assets. So what I'm going to do is just quickly go through these. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I'm going to look for things to buy. Wink is not a buy. Moving on. BitTorrent. Just waiting for this to load. We've got a buyback here, which would have been good. Got a buyback here that kind of already played out and failed. The buyback here, another rebuy right here. This is not a buy for me. IOST looks like it's in a rising channel. After a big drop, it looks a little bearish. It's not a buy for me. Holochain, this one, pretty interesting. It had a big move up and of course a rejection, and it looks like it is in the middle of rejecting again, so this is not a buy for me. Tron looks very similar to some other alts that are out there. Tron is not a buy. Doge, right now at this moment, Doge is actually kind of interesting. Just taking a look at this, you can see that we have a little something like this, very similar to what some other alts are looking like. Just keep it simple here. The algo is not supporting a buy, but this is a bullish formation. Okay, so that it's not a buy at the moment. I would honestly wait for this to break up and retest, but for now, Doge is not a buy, but it does look a little bullish. VeChain. VeChain, I want to like VeChain, and this is for Sacred Order out there. I want to like VeChain, I really do. But right now, the trend line to pay attention to is this guy right here. So trend lines work in both directions, okay? Trend lines work in both directions. You've got the upper, you've got the lower. Right now, this is compressing, right? So VeChain is in a clear compression phase right now. And it is literally right now at a point. So if you wanted to take a trade on VeChain and risk it, okay, if you wanted to risk a trade on VeChain, even though the technicals do not support buying here. If you wanted to risk it, you could buy here. Let me just go ahead and put this on here. We'll track this. Your stop loss, you'll want to put, I don't know, probably down here at this wick. And as far as an upside target, you could be conservative and target here for a 3% gain. You could target this up here for a 7% gain. You could just take some profit there and let the rest of it go. This is a trade setup that could work out, but the technicals do not support it. I won't be taking this trade, but it does look like it could work out. Honestly, it is at the lower trend line, so this is an area where you should expect to see a turnaround. I think Jay would appreciate that. Jay is he likes trend lines, and there's nothing wrong with trend lines. Keep on moving. Ripple. Honestly, Ripple looks kind of strong. Ripple does look kind of strong. It has spent a couple hours trying to chew through some resistance. This level here. It looks like it maybe has a little bit higher to go. It's not a new buy for me, and that is for darn sure. It is not a new buy for me. Let's just see when the last buy actually fired off. We had a couple back here. So there was back here at about 18 cents, back here about the same, about 18 cents, and you also had a buy approximately about right here at 18.5 cents. So 18 cents, that was the accumulation zone right here. That was the area to be accumulating. And if you were to have bought there at 18 cents, you would be at about 66% profit right now, just looking at the buys. And when I say looking at the buys, what I'm looking for, let me just zoom in right here. You see we've got a buy right here, literally right here at the bottom, right? You've got the 1 hour, the 3 hour, 12 hour is pretty low. That was a good buy. Down here, after it spiked up and started to come back, that was a reaccumulation. Another one right here, reaccumulation. Those three buys worked themselves out over time. It did dip lower. It did dip lower. You have to acknowledge that. But look at what happened. Look at what happened. We had a nice big move to the upside. So I have to pay attention to those. When you get that opportunity in a bull trend or in an anticipated bull trend, you have to be ready for those buys when they come. Okay. Cardano, what does Cardano look like? I was expecting Cardano to move up, and it moved up a little bit. We had a buy back here, but the 12 hour was still kind of moving down a little bit. It doesn't look like Cardano is a buy right now, but we had a big buy here. We had another buy up here, and I'm sure that there were additional buys back there. It's not looking like something that I would be willing to buy right now. I do see some hidden bearish divergence on the hourly. So yeah, Cardano is not a new buy for me right now. Zilliqua looks very similar to a lot of the others. I have a feeling that a lot of these are going to look very, very similar. So this is not a buy. Actually, the 3 hour on this one is pretty overextended. It's pretty high up there. So I don't particularly like this guy right now. Lumens. Yeah, a lot of these are going to look very, very similar. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go back to, what was it? Was it VeChain? Yes, let's take a look at VeChain versus Bitcoin, see what those look like. So VET, BTC, take a look at VeChain against Bitcoin to see if it supports a move to the upside. Because a lot of these USD pairs look very similar, but the Bitcoin pairs likely look very different. All right, so we're sitting here. VeChain is sitting at 144 Satoshis, and look at how much this has bled. You've been losing lots of alpha by being in, by being in this alt versus being in Bitcoin. We had a buy here, which is it's already played out. And we pulled back the 3 hour. This is not going to work out really well if I get the hiccups in the middle of a live stream. But anyway, what it looks like about 136 Satoshis is where this wants to gravitate back to. Potentially, another bottom over here. I don't know if it's going to be the point where it actually moves back further. Let's go ahead and look at this from like a daily chart. See if we can clear off all of the garbage that we've got on there. Okay, so let's just take a look at this just from a raw perspective, VeChain versus Bitcoin. I can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Okay, this actually looks pretty constructive. So let's pull this. Start down here at the bottom. Okay, we've got a 1. Then we come back down here for the 2. Okay. Um, I would venture to say this is the 3 here. I think this is the 3. Came down for the 4, and then we're going to go up for the 5. So actually, this looks pretty good. Let's do a fib pull on this guy and see where we have retraced to. So from here, all the way up here to the top, we're sitting at the 50 right now. So yeah, actually VeChain looks pretty good. VeChain looks okay to be buying here. This is going to take time. I'm on the daily chart, right? Possible this thing still moves back to 136. 136 seems like the place to buy. If you're going to stop loss on VeChain, right? So let's just say you put a buy here at 136. Maybe you put in the buy now. That's up to you. I'm not gonna push the buttons for you. You're going to want to stop loss though. Right down here at about like 130 or so. 131, 130. That's where I would do a stop loss. Keep a tight stop. But then you want to take this thing. Potentially over time, could take weeks, take it up to 285. So that's going to be your trade right there for 109% profit, and that's on the Bitcoin trading pairs. So if you have 1 Bitcoin you throw in VeChain, when you exit this, if this gets up to 285, you should exit with 2 Bitcoin, right? Whatever Bitcoin is worth, that's irrelevant. If Bitcoin just remains steady, then ideally you will have a significant amount of profit there in USD terms, even if Bitcoin doesn't move. Okay. Let's go ahead and keep on moving. I do think VeChain does look okay. I think VeChain looks okay. Keep the stops though. Keep the stops. I know there are some people out there that don't like stops, but I am a trader and I do prefer to have stops. All right, let's keep on moving. We took a look at lumens. Let's take a look at one. I do want to get down to Tezos and Chainlink. Let's go back to the hourly. You can see a lot of these alts are looking really, really overbought. So it wouldn't surprise me if we started to see, okay, so this had a buy here, another buy here, which is basically where we're at right now. So Harmony looks okay. Harmony looks all right. It's going to be probably, it could come back down here to like 735 to 740. But it looks like we are creating, yeah, this is a good buy for Harmony right now. I do like this. I would say that the buy, let me just kind of zoom in on this guy right here. I would say the buy right here, right where we're at, it seems like a good place to buy. And, target for the upside, we'll talk about that in a second. But stop loss to the downside, you got real tight stop here. You want to take out maybe this low. If that low gets taken out, I would get out and kind of wait and see for this to kind of make its move. But the hourly looks like it wants to go up. The 12-hour looks like it's oversold, so it probably is going to be making another move to the upside. As far as upside target goes, you could go up here for the 19%. You could go a little bit higher, potentially right here to about 30%. So I think there's decent gains to be made here on Harmony. So I do like that. I'm going to go ahead and flag this guy because it looks good. I like Harmony. All right, Matic. Man, I just don't like Matic personally. But this is not a buy. Nope. I'm gonna try and make this quick. Seller network. Don't know what seller network is. They probably have really great fundamentals. So buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. No, I don't like seller right now. Chillas. I remember looking at this in the past and just thinking, what the heck? What the heck kind of a name is that? No. FTM, well, that got stopped out. Okay, that didn't work out. We had some buys come in over here. I would say as of right now, this is probably not a buy. All right, so let's take a look at Ravencoin. Had a big drop just like the others. Up, down, up, potentially a corrective move, not a buy for me. Let's take a look at ARPA. ARPA sat in this channel for a while. Up, down, up. Okay, then came down. Now it's back. You're kind of back in the same zone. We're literally back in this same chop zone. I could pull this over, and we're still kind of chopping in that zone. You had a liquidity hunt on the upside, liquidity hunt to the downside. We're right back at the median, guys. It does show, history shows us here that once this thing goes down below like 2150, that seems to be a good buy on ARPA, at least for the short term. This does look like it is accumulating, right? This doesn't look like distribution. It did have a markup, right? It did have a markup that we can see. It's pretty obvious. But I think that this is in a reaccumulation phase here. Probably is going to make another move to the upside. I would wait. I would wait for this thing to come back down. It may come back down as low as 2 cents. Might. So maybe you want to do some dollar cost averaging, whatever is your thing. Let's take a look at, what is this, Hadra hash graph. We were watching this guy. I want to say it was on the daily. It must have been a different one. This does not look like the one that we were looking at. But one way or another, this does look, let me zoom back out here. It's not a new buy. It's not a new buy, that's for sure. So I'll go ahead and skip over this one for right now. Fetch.ai. This looks a lot stronger than some of the others. When we had the major dump, this one came back real quick and it actually came higher than what it did right before that big dump. It's not a new buy for me though, but if this thing goes and takes out, 8 cents, I would be looking to buy the retest, that's for sure. EOS. EOS. Technically, EOS is getting close to resistance now, sitting here at about 311, 312. So I'd be careful with EOS. Let's take a look at Algo. Not a new buy. Ontology. This does not look very good. Also looks like it is approaching resistance. Kind of looks like it hit resistance here and looks like it's rolling over. So I don't like that. Theta token looks very similar. Very similar. Unless this thing can take out 29.5 cents, I'm not interested in Theta. Technicals don't really line up for me right now either. All right, guys. All right, here we go. XTZ. I know I did an analysis on this. Let me go out to, say, a 3-hour time frame, and let's just take a look and see how this has held up. So for this guy, from the beginning of time, what we said, we had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, A, B, C into the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 5th, which would be wave number 1. Okay. Target to the upside here, we're looking at, if it is an impulse, right, and not a correction. If it's a correction, we're really only looking at about $7.50, anywhere between $5 and $7.50. But if this is an impulse, we're going to be looking for $9.37. All right, $9.37 is where we're looking for the upside on this guy. And I was looking particularly for, yeah, so actually, hold on. Let me just dive into this real quick here. I need to fix this because a lot has happened here. All right, so what I think is going on here, it looks like we've got the 1 here, the 1 there, we've got the 2 here. Looks like we do have a little bit of a diagonal here, a 3, and I think the 4 is actually down here. We've got some overlap. That's okay. I'm not too overly concerned about that. So there's the 5. All right, now what do we have from here? We have a correction. All right, so we've got the A, we've got the B, we've got the C right here. All right, and then from here, I think we're still correcting, to be completely honest, based on what I can see here. This looks like an A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, and likely we're going to come back down here again. And that's okay. So this is going to be the A, B, C, and then one more time to finish it, A, B, C. So maybe it comes back down here to this trend line, and I think what that's actually going to be doing here from the top, going to be completing an A, a B, and a C. Actually, so here, A, B, C, A, B, C. This B, sorry about that. This B goes over here. All right, fix the degree on this guy. I'm going to give it a slightly different color for contrast. All right, so yeah, more than likely this comes back down to 275. Possible move back down to 275. The 3 hour is showing signs that it's getting a little overextended. Maybe this makes another little push back up to like 320 or so before it comes back down, but I do think it is, and I think this is going to be where this thing lands. Let's take a look at a fib from down here at the bottom of this guy. Take a look all the way to the top. All right. So from all the way at the top, we've come almost to the 618. I mean, I would love to see this guy come to the 618, but it looks like the 50 is holding strong at 271. So yeah, still looking for that 270, 271. I think that would be good. That would be good. Upside target for that, we've already kind of discussed that. I do think that there is more upside ahead of Tezos, based on what I can see here. We're here at $3.02 right now. But yeah, I think that given the right kind of momentum, this guy has the potential to make its way much, much higher. Again, $5 to $7.50 at first. If it's got a lot of juice behind it, it's going to go up to $10. I do think Tezos can make it to 10 if there is momentum behind it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now on Tezos. Now let's take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink is at 842. Not too bad. Now these magnets that I've got on here, don't let this fool you into thinking like it's going to come back down here. Like it will come back down here at some point, but that doesn't mean that I think it's going to happen right now. So as of right now, the short that I posted here, I mean, it's still valid, right? I got into some bear tokens when we were up here. It's not necessarily lined up with the actual underlying value like shorting some coins does, but this short, although it's still valid, I failed to take profit down here, and it moved itself up, and that's okay. What I need to see is some accelerated selling. I say that kind of thing all the time, because if we're going to make our way back down here, if we are now, possible we don't, because we technically tested support. All right, and that support is going to be right here. Right here we've got support, and we did test that. Technically we did. We tested that right there. So it's possible that's as far as this thing goes, and it's just going to keep going up from here. That's very, very possible. We'll just have to wait and see. If you're going to short Chainlink, yeah, keep your stop loss at about 895. We're at 843 right now. Keep your stop loss at 895 if you're going to short. Yeah, I mean, Link has historically been pretty bullish. And if I want to take a look at this, Chainlink did not drop as much as a lot of the others did. It's very overbought. So it wouldn't surprise me if at a minimum we just ranged here for a little bit based on this. Let that 12-hour reset. If that happens, I'll be super, super bullish if that happens. If we just range up here above $8, if we range above $8 and this 12-hour resets, this thing is going to move significantly in my opinion. So that's what I think there. All right, so I want to take a look at just a couple others. I want to take a look at ZRX because this is something that was brought up. This still looks good. This still looks like a good buy actually. So let's just take a look at this. All right, so this is something that Boring brought up on the server. So let's just point this out right there. Retested support based on an ascending triangle. Okay, I'm not gonna do it so much like that. I'm gonna pull this guy up here to this one. This seems better. So yeah, this still looks good. And he brought this up when the price was closer. It was about 38.5 cents at the time. Okay, so yeah, all in all, this does look pretty bullish. And even if I pulled this up a little bit more, we are retesting, or we have retested support here on ZRX. So I would say this thing does have the potential to move higher. So let's take a look at ZRX versus Bitcoin. on Binance. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like we were creating a bottom back here, the 3 hour and the 12 hour. The 12 hour is just now moving up. ZRX versus Bitcoin does look like it wants to move down just a little bit more, maybe back down here to the 3350 range. Ultimately, I do think it does. I think it does want to go up. The 12 hour would support a move to the upside, so I do like that. Let's see here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. I am a little bullish on Bitcoin Cash. Again, this looks like it wants to pull back. I think a lot of these that we've taken a look at do look like they want to pull back just a little bit. So you probably can get a better entry than where the prices are currently at, or you can just buy and hold. Hold for a few days. More than likely you'll be in profit. But I mean, I wouldn't call that a good way to trade, right? That's a good way to invest. But as we've seen in the crypto atmosphere, you had a lot of people that were quote unquote investing up here at 320 to 340 on Bitcoin Cash, and then they just got dumped on, and now they're underwater, and they're going to be looking to get out of their quote unquote investment. All right, so yeah, I guess all in all, it looks like this wants to move down. Let's take a look at one final chart. We're going to take a look at the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and see what the entire altcoin market looks like. Definitely we were creating a bottom down here. I would say this does look like it wants to pull back some more. It looks like it wants to pull back more. Let's take a fib from the top here. Down here to the bottom. We pushed our way through the 618. Let's take a look on a linear scale. Let's look at where the 786 is. Yeah, possibly we go to 131.5 billion on market cap for altcoins. I don't know if we're going to come down here to 110 billion market cap. It looks like it wants to, but we are in a pretty strong uptrend. I guess one thing that I can say is if you're looking at this chart, okay, if you're looking at this chart, we're on an hourly. When was the last time you saw a distribution candle like this? Right, the last time we saw something like that, let's just even go to a 4-hour time frame. The last time we saw a strong distribution candle like we saw right there was, gosh, it's even stronger than we had back here when we were at our height in mid-February, right? So obviously we have higher prices than we did in mid-February, but that distribution candle was stronger than any of these distribution candles with the exception of this guy back here on March 12th. Okay, and if I zoom back even further, we've got one kind of crazy one back here on around September 24th, but that distribution candle is not something that I'm willing to ignore. I would say that chances are pretty good we're going to pull back one more time. That'll finish the ABC correction, and then we can continue up and on. For right now, I think we're taking a breather on altcoins. There are going to be some that perform better than others. We've talked about some of them. Ripple has actually been doing pretty well here recently. Ripple versus Bitcoin on Binance. If you take a look at this, we're making new highs, whereas some of the others are not, right? On some of these, you saw them go down and then they're just barely recovering. Ripple is actually higher than it was before the major drop that we had a couple days ago. So this looks good. I mean, Ripple's at 27.50 right now and it's continuing to rise. We'll take a look at the hourly. Let's just see what this looks like. Potentially we're creating some divergence, some bearish divergence on this on the RSI. There's some RSI divergence on the hourly. But I would wait for that to come in threes. For right now, this looks good right now. Okay, this does look okay, at least for the time being. Looking from here, working our way up, it looks okay. All right, this looks okay for a continued move to the upside. But we'll just have to be a little patient because when you look at the daily, the daily is where things start to look really interesting. Take a look at Ripple, okay? It's looking pretty darn good, Ripple is. But in the grand scheme of things, it's sitting at resistance right now. It's about ready to push up against some other resistance right at 3,000. Okay, so that's sitting there at 3K. If we can overtake 3K, this thing has the potential to really, really move. A lot of people loathe Ripple. But I mean, if you take a look at this, just from this perspective, we have a high here, we have a high here, and we just kind of punctured through it. So we haven't done that in a while. So honestly, Ripple looks okay. From an accumulation standpoint, I think it is done accumulating, and I think we're going to start seeing a markup phase where we first stop is going to be 3,000. Next stop is going to be this next level right here at about 3,350. But ultimately, I think we go for at least 4K. If you take a look at 4K, going back into the history, you've got resistance here, support here, support here, support here. We had a retest of resistance, and then we are more than likely going to make our way up to 4,000 again. So just keep an eye on this. Chances are this is probably going to make a move to the upside here, Ripple versus Bitcoin. And, you know, the chart looks awful, right? The chart looks like it just wants to go down. Just wants to go down. Maybe it wants to make its way back down to, you know, 1,000 or 1,500 satoshis, and maybe it will. But for right now, this trend line is telling me, hey, I'm trying to break out. What does the Stoch look like on the daily? The Stoch on the daily is over. It's approaching overbought conditions. So maybe this thing closes up above, does a little bit of a pullback, but stays above this trend line. As long as we continue closing dailies above this trend line right here, which means over the next few days, it can make its way back to 2,700 or so. That would be okay. I think it is going to make a move to the upside. So just be careful there. The daily looks pretty awesome. From down here, you know, up to where we are, that's still like a 35-36% increase. And Bitcoin has also been making significant increases over the last week or so. So it looks okay. It looks all right. Okay, everyone. Well, I think the arguing on the Discord is over, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it now. If this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening.